If there's one thing everybody should do, it's to read the book about themselves. Now, what the fuck does that mean? Exactly. Look, I'm not trying to repackage you journaling because really it is journaling, but and also this won't make sense until you've actually done it yourself. No, so this won't make sense. Whatever I'm about to say now does not make sense until you hear me out. But essentially, we're collecting evidence on ourselves. I've been getting quite a few comments lately about I don't know how to keep my mouth shut. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what my triggers are. And I'm sat there sometimes and I'm like, how the fuck do you not know what your triggers are? How do you not know when to keep your mouth shut? But then I'm thinking, Anne Marie, how did you figure out? How did you find out what your triggers were? This is how I found out. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to like buy this planner or a specific planner. Notebook. Any notebook. Cheapest you can find. Even sometimes I think this one has lines, get one without lines. It needs to be empty because when it's empty, it's about yourself. And also I'm not one to I don't have prompts. I don't have anything. There is no we're not prompting. You write down things whenever you have something to say. You're angry, write it down. You're sad, write it down. You're happy, write it down. You get triggered, write it down. This happened, write it down. He did this, write it down. They did this, write it down. You want to say something that you shouldn't say, write it down. Whatever happens, just write it down. I'm old school. I have to write it. It has to come outside of my hand and I need to see it. But use your mobile phone. Please don't. I'm not getting there, but use AI. Don't come for me. Use AI. Write it down. Note down when you have things to say. And what I do is, or what the structure is, I personally always started in January, but it doesn't matter. You can start now and then do it until November. You write things down, then you stop writing in November. End of November is the last time you've written anything down, and because in December we digest. Not every day you need to read it. You can skip a week, but read it in digestible chunks for you in December. That's how I felt. It really marinated and I understood because events happening in isolation don't make sense until you're there in December and you see the pattern and you see the whole picture. Because the you in March was living it. The you in December knows the outcome, knows the reason, knows everything, and now has potentially two or three other examples and now can see a pattern is like, right, okay, this is what my triggers are. This is what my trigger is. For me, 2 years ago, I wrote down, oh, okay, he did this in January, he forgot this in March, then this, then that, then this, and blah. In December, I had to look at myself and ask myself if I'm a dickhead. Because clearly, I can read that I'm a dickhead. I'm an idiot. It is there in black and white. Because again, events happening in isolation don't make sense. Yeah, I was upset in January. I was upset in February. I was upset here. I was upset there. But you get over it. You get over it. And then in December, you're like, I'm stupid. Last December, it didn't matter what I wrote. It didn't matter what I wrote. And I didn't write much. I maybe wrote, again, you don't have to write a lot. It doesn't have to be chapters. I wrote maybe like 10, 11 times. But there was a theme, there was an undercurrent. Even things may have happened outside of work or outside of this, and then things privately, and then things here, random things. It all had the same theme. It all had that recurring theme of what I needed or what was bothering me. Because then, and I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this. In January, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I knew exactly what I needed to do. And I almost, as if almost my other self, my higher self, whatever self you may call it, put me on autopilot and took over and did what they had to do because I could not bear reading that same story again this December. There is no way. I could not bear reading the same story. I was on autopilot and I started a process in January. And I was laser focused. I didn't look right. I didn't look left. I just did it. I went through the steps and I did it. In that journey, that process took a couple of months and I did it. I can't say much now, but I did it. And even now, September, August me is thinking, how the fuck did I do that? I don't even know who did that. I don't even know. But I knew that I did it because something within me knew I can't read that same story again in December because then I'm the fool. Also, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit sometimes, it has really helped me journal and document growth. What destroyed me maybe in January, same thing happened in March, but I handled it better than in January because now in December I can see, okay, I've actually applied, I can analyze things. I'm a data girl. This is unfortunately how I operate. It really helped me with recognizing growth. And this is the first year, oh my God, this is the first year where I'm actually quite, this is the first year where I've been very kinder to myself because I really can see the growth of the last 2 years. Whereas I'm a lot more, I have so much more compassion for living life and dealing with things that are happening. And this method has really, really helped with that. Again, because things are happening and everything is so bad in the moment and you're the most terrible person, and that voice inside your head tells you you're terrible, you're this, you're the blah, blah, blah. And then it happens, then it happens again, and you stay in the cycle. And then in December you're reading this and you're like, something happened in January, same thing happened in March, you dealt with it better. Be nice to yourself. So it really helped in detailing and highlighting growth. Now I feel like I've done all this yapping to just repackage journaling, which I have in a way. You can start today. You can, from now until November, still plenty of time, but I just think it really helps in finding some answers about yourself. You are both the author and the reader. I know that sounds really naff, really corny, but it is true. It is true. Try it. See what happens. But it just teaches you a lot about yourself. Also, it's cheaper than therapy.